My dearest light family, I want to share with you some of the concerns and questions that have come in from those who attended the extremely life-changing event at the Ohio seminar. Please be aware that for those of you who weren't at the seminar, you may feel similar ones after the August webinar, since it deals with the same paradigm shifting material. The first one writes, I am feeling so empty, it's kind of scaring me a bit. I have no feelings other than deep, deep sadness. I don't have any inspiration to be outside in nature or to do anything at all. Absolutely nothing. I feel zombie-like. All my physical symptoms have lessened, just a bit of nausea is left. And the next comment, I had a strange thing happen last night when I took the laundry out of the dryer. I finished folding, and when I crawled back into bed, my hands were vibrating, like I could feel the vibration of the dryer in my hands through the clothes I had just taken out. It sounds a bit crazy, but that's the only way I know how to explain it. And the next comment, I feel like I'm losing it. I'll just keep on keeping on. What else is there to do? I've been through some doozies, but this is a topper. And then the last comment, I am feeling mild nausea, fatigue, sometimes sharp pain in the left side of my head, above the ear. Also random vibrations in my body, as if my phone was on vibrate and I am feeling it in my chest or arm. Can you please comment? My answer to these concerns is as follows. Firstly, I have had all of them since the Ohio retreat. I had over a week of bronchitis. Mucus is still coming out of the lungs. I've had fever, aches and pains throughout the body, lasting at least a week, if not longer. The empty feeling, except for deep, deep sadness, feeling like you don't want to do anything at all, not even the usual things that bring you pleasure do it anymore, and the feeling of being zombie-like. The nausea certainly is there as well. It has awoken me at night. The nausea has been so extreme in my case. Now, as for the vibration, beloved ones, for days after the seminar, and still occasionally, a specific area of my body will start trembling, but it's not visible in the external, it's inside in the organs. And it does vibrate, that is a good description to give it. So what is happening, and as you know, the August webinar, those of you that haven't been exposed to this, will bring on the same symptoms. And those of you who have had this experience, the August webinar could be very helpful because it'll push you over the hump. Now, let us take a look at what is happening. Beloved ones, the deepest, deepest sadness that is in every cell in our body is the beginning and endings. Before the beginnings and endings came about, There were no goodbyes, there were no separation. Beginnings and endings is an illusion, and it came about eons ago in the following way. The seeming endings, whether it's the flow of time between moments, one moment ending, another moment beginning, a lifetime ending, another beginning, is entirely due to the fact that we have lost the ability of omni-perspectives. Because nothing is ever gone, it just moves out of the realm of our experience. And what separates one accessible reality from another is the fact that we're looking at the same thing with different perspectives. And in addition to that, we are assuming something is gone just because we can't see it, but the state we are experiencing in one level of life versus another, just by changing our perspective, creates different sensory input. The sensory input you get from ice is different than what you would get from steam. So what happened is the brain was designed as an organ to gather sensory input. Instead, it started to interpret. It was not meant to be an organ of interpretation. It started to interpret sensory input from our omni perspectives at the time. So what it did is it only started gathering information that it could interpret. Its interpretation skills is very limited. For instance, it only interprets things in the physical, if you're in the physical, and it doesn't interpret things in the soul level. If you're in the soul level, you can interpret it, but not from here. It ignores the information coming in from other levels of life because it can't interpret it. It wasn't meant to. But this is where things started to move out of our realm of experience, and we started to have beginnings and endings. This is the greatest grief of our being. This grief has been held by the electrons of the atoms in the electromagnetic field that they generate. So there's a little field around each atom overlapping with each other atom. This has been held, holding memories of this deep, deep sadness of beginnings and endings, the illusion that we believed created by brain. And so we have walked around with this sadness forever since this happened, eons and trillions of years ago. And this sadness with every goodbye has just built and built, and it has been held in the space between the electron and the nucleus of the atom and other atoms. So, beloved ones, this is what we are letting go of. The primary place grief is held is, of course, the lungs. Also in the membrane of the stomach, actually. So what happens is, as the atoms are releasing the magnetic fields that hold these memories of deep grief at separation, the equivalent is being released out of the cells. Cellular memory. Organs are releasing the memories they are holding. It is the clearing of the cells that's causing that trembling in the cells. drink lots of water because this will create nausea. This is such a major transition, but eons of toxins is being released in the form of frequency, in the form of real toxins, bacteria, phlegm, mucus, some cramping in the stomach even. Beloved ones, when a person dies, they actually lose weight, because that weight is the cells that comprise the soul, and it starts to express at a different level. We interpret it as moving into the soul world, but these things were never separate. Some of your cells go with you through the eons, no matter what state you've been in. You've taken the same atoms with you. Some of the atoms may die and the body decompose, but some of them went with you, hence the weight loss. So this memory of pain and agony and sadness and fear and cataclysms, it has been traveling back and forth between realms with you, because those atoms remain a part of you. This is what we're releasing. I understand that it is scary, that there is this existentialist feeling about everything. Beloved ones, when I went into God consciousness, I wrote, and I think it's in Journey to the Heart of God, that if I could feel, I would be depressed. But I can't feel anything. It's an effort for me just even to move, to go to the store to get a loaf of bread. This was just a dress rehearsal for the big release we're going through now. This too will pass. Would you please remember this? And you will emerge from this a miraculous, light, luminous being capable of great miracles. Do not fight it. Sleep when you're tired, drink lots of water. But beloved ones, do we really want to carry such a burden in every atom in our body forever? It's time to release it. This is the result. We will together move through this. Please have courage. Any other option really was no option at all. To go round and round matrices of our own making forever after, making the same illusions and limitations our reality, is not an option. We must move through. We'll do it together. Please, beloved ones, have courage. My deep love and respect for you.